Ethan Brooks had spent years saving every dollar from his construction business in Montana. At 38, he finally bought an abandoned ranch outside Billings. The property had been empty for nearly a decade, covered in weeds and silence. He dreamed of rebuilding it into a peaceful home, far from crowded city life. Neighbors warned him that strange things happened around the ranch. Some claimed lights appeared inside the old barn at night, while others insisted they heard children laughing. Ethan dismissed every rumor. He believed abandoned places collected stories, not ghosts, and he planned to replace fear with fresh beginnings and honest work. The morning after signing the papers, Ethan unlocked the front gate, carrying tools and supplies. Dust filled the old farmhouse, broken windows rattled in the wind, and faded family photographs remained on cracked walls. Although neglected, the ranch still felt alive, as though someone had quietly refused to let it disappear forever. While inspecting the large barn behind the farmhouse, Ethan noticed fresh footprints in the dirt. His heartbeat quickened. Someone had clearly been there recently. Following the trail carefully, he heard a baby's soft cry. The unexpected sound echoed through the empty building, leaving him frozen with confusion and concern. Behind stacked hay bales, Ethan discovered 4 frightened women protecting a tiny baby. They immediately stood together, prepared to defend themselves. Their clothes were worn, their faces exhausted, and fear filled every expression. None of them looked dangerous. They simply looked like people who had nowhere else left to survive. The oldest woman stepped forward and introduced herself as Grace. She explained that they had escaped abusive relationships and homelessness. Every shelter nearby was overcrowded, forcing them to hide inside the abandoned ranch. The baby belonged to Emily, whose husband had disappeared months earlier without leaving any support behind. Ethan listened quietly without interrupting. He noticed blankets carefully folded, handmade toys for the baby, and small cooking supplies arranged neatly in one corner. They had respected the property despite their hardship. Instead of anger, Ethan felt overwhelming compassion. He remembered his own childhood after losing both parents unexpectedly. Rather than calling authorities immediately, Ethan brought food, bottled water, diapers, and warm blankets from town. The women stared in disbelief. Grace quietly whispered that most people avoided them after hearing they were homeless. Ethan simply smiled and replied that everyone deserved dignity before judgment and kindness before suspicion. Over dinner, each woman shared her story. Emily fled domestic violence while protecting her newborn son, Noah. Sarah had escaped human trafficking years earlier, but struggled to rebuild her life. Linda lost everything after medical bills consumed her savings. Grace, once a schoolteacher, became, "Hey there, everyone! Today, we're talking about how to keep love fresh. Firstly, plan some surprise events for your partner to heat up your relationship on memorable days. Being honest and open with your partner about your feelings is also important. Remember, love isn't just about feelings. It's also about actions. If you truly care for someone, you'll take the necessary steps to keep that love alive and vibrant. So here's a tip. Don't hesitate to express your feelings of affection toward your partner. They need to feel cherished too. Let's stay positive and keep love alive." Everyone together beside the renovated farmhouse. On the back she wrote, "You bought an empty ranch, but you truly built a family." Ethan quietly wiped away tears, realizing it was the greatest gift he had ever received. Years later, Noah often asked how he first arrived at the ranch. Grace always smiled before answering that he had arrived carrying hope in the smallest hands imaginable. She explained that one compassionate stranger changed not only their lives, but also the lives of hundreds who followed after them, seeking safety. Visitors leaving the ranch often noticed a wooden sign beside the entrance. It read, "Every forgotten place deserves another chance, and so does every forgotten person." Ethan believed those simple words captured the greatest lesson of his life. True wealth was never measured by land, but by the lives restored upon it.